Have you ever felt in the middle of an ordinary day that life has suddenly turned upside down? Maybe a job you counted on slipped away, a relationship you cherished started to unravel, or a dream you held close simply didn't come to pass. In times like these, it's natural to look up and wonder, why me? It's so easy to believe we're being singled out, that the universe is somehow unjust. But what if these moments aren't random acts of chaos? What if beneath the surface there's a purpose, something guiding us, connecting us, weaving our experiences into a larger, sacred pattern? Buddhism invites us to view life's challenges not as punishments, but as invitations to look more deeply, to see with new eyes. At the heart of Buddhist teaching is the understanding that everything is connected, nothing happens in isolation. The Buddha's words, "Nothing exists alone, everything is connected," aren't just poetry. They're a call to recognize that our lives are not a series of unlinked events, but an intricate, ever-unfolding story, where every moment is shaped by countless causes and conditions. So, let's begin a journey together, a journey inward. Let's explore how what feels like chaos might actually be the universe speaking in quiet whispers, guiding us through the language of karma, change, and interdependence. These aren't just concepts from ancient texts, they're practical tools, lenses to help us find clarity in confusion, peace in pain, and light even on the darkest nights. Central to this understanding is karma, the idea that every thought, intention, and action plants a seed, and those seeds, whether we notice them or not, grow into the experiences we live. Karma isn't about blame or reward, it's about responsibility and awareness. It teaches us that life reflects back the energy we put into it. Our choices, habits, and perspectives shape the reality we walk through. One classic story illustrates this beautifully. A young monk once accidentally broke his master's beloved teacup. Fearing punishment, he confessed, but his master simply smiled and said, "The cup was already broken." At first, the monk didn't understand. Over time, he realized his master wasn't talking about the physical cup, but about the very nature of all things. Everything is temporary, already changing, already on its way to becoming something new. The master's calm acceptance wasn't indifference, it was deep wisdom. Why does embracing impermanence matter so much in Buddhism? Because when we let go of the expectation that things should last forever, we suffer less when they change. We begin to meet life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Like the shifting seasons and flowing rivers, everything in our world is in motion. The more we align with this truth, the more gracefully we move through both sorrow and joy. Yet this path isn't about denying suffering. Buddhism doesn't ask us to pretend pain doesn't exist. Instead, it encourages us to see suffering as sacred, a teacher, not a punishment. Another story often told in Zen circles compares a diamond and a piece of coal. Both are made of the same substance, but only one, the diamond, becomes radiant through immense pressure. In the same way, the very struggles we long to avoid can, with time and mindful attention, become the source of our deepest wisdom and strength. So what if your present struggle isn't a dead end, but a doorway, an invitation to grow? What if life isn't punishing you, but preparing you? What if this difficult moment, as painful as it is shaping you into the person you're meant to become? As we go deeper into these teachings, remember, every challenge carries within it a hidden opportunity to reflect, to learn, to awake. When we look through a Buddhist lens, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and begin to see ourselves as participants in a vast, sacred unfolding. When we step beyond mere survival, we begin the work of true transformation. In this moment, our pain is no longer just pain. It becomes insight. Our struggles are not simply obstacles, but opportunities for compassion to grow. The losses we experience no longer leave us solely in darkness. Instead, they offer us a new kind of clarity. But the question remains, how do we walk this path with steadiness and confidence? especially in a world that is always shifting beneath our feet? How do we anchor ourselves when everything around us, and even within us, feels unpredictable? The answer is found in returning to the foundational practices of mindfulness and meditation, the living, breathing heart of Buddhist spirituality. These are not abstract rituals reserved for monks in solitary retreat, nor are they distant ideals meant only for those on mountaintops. Mindfulness and meditation are practical, powerful tools, accessible to anyone, anywhere, seeking greater peace, presence, and purpose in their lives. Mindfulness is the gentle art of being fully present, awake to the here and now, without judgment or resistance. It is not about control, but about curiosity and clarity. Whether you're sipping tea, walking through a busy street, or sitting in silence, mindfulness invites you to show up for your life exactly as it is, not as you wish it to be, but as it unfolds, moment by moment. There is a simplicity here that is deeply healing. Mindfulness teaches us to feel our feelings, to see what is before us, and to inhabit our bodies and minds honestly, kindly, and gently. Meditation, in contrast, is an intentional stillness, a mindful pause from the endless stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions. It is a deeper, quieter exploration where we learn to observe the landscape of our mind with patience and compassion. In meditation, we might focus on the breath, a simple mantra, or even the quiet space between thoughts. What appears on the surface as a practice of stillness is, in truth, an opportunity to witness ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, and the subtle patterns that shape our reactions and choices. As we continue to sit and observe, something remarkable happens. Our thoughts become less tangled, our emotions less overwhelming. We gain not only peace, but understanding, and in that understanding, we find real liberation. By making mindfulness and meditation part of your daily life, you do not simply find moments of calm within the storm. You begin slowly but surely to live from that calm. The principles of karma, impermanence, and interconnectedness, so central to Buddhist teaching, cease to be intellectual concepts and become woven into the fabric of your actions, words, choices, and relationships. You do not just understand these principles, you begin to embody them. So if you are walking through a difficult chapter of your life right now, pause, breathe, look within. Perhaps life is breaking you open, not to harm you, but to reveal something luminous inside you. There is a wisdom that only hardship can uncover. There is a compassion that only emerges when we have been cracked open by loss or struggle. If you feel lost, remember, you are not a wanderer without a path. You are being led. The universe is not conspiring against you. It is shaping you gently and powerfully for a purpose you may not yet see. Each moment, even and especially the painful ones, is a sacred step on your journey home. The benefits of mindfulness and meditation. When we consider transformation, we often imagine dramatic events, new jobs, unexpected opportunities, sudden breakthroughs. But some of the most profound changes take place quietly in the stillness of everyday awareness. This is the subtle, enduring power of mindfulness and meditation. They do not shout or demand, they whisper and over time, these practices gently reshape the way we see ourselves, others, and the world. Enhanced self-awareness. True transformation begins with awareness, the ability to see clearly what is happening within and around us. Regular mindfulness and meditation peel back the layers of distraction and noise, revealing the inner landscape with greater clarity. This self-awareness is more than just noticing fleeting thoughts, it is understanding the unseen patterns that drive them, many of which are rooted in past habits and unnoticed karma. When you sit in stillness and observe your mind without judgment, you create space to choose differently, to respond rather than react, and to align your actions with your deepest intention. In this awareness, you become the quiet architect of your life, no longer driven by unconscious impulses, but guided by conscious wisdom. cognitive and emotional well-being. Modern science is only now confirming what Buddhist wisdom has taught for centuries. Meditation heals, it softens the edges of anxiety, lightens the weight of depression, and eases the grip of stress. But mindfulness does more than offer temporary relief. It builds resilience. When emotions run high and life feels overwhelming, mindfulness acts as an anchor, grounding you in the present moment. You begin to recognize when your thoughts spiral, when old fears resurface, and you learn to breathe through these moments, instead of being swept away by them. Over time, this emotional regulation becomes a kind of superpower in a world of constant change, a calm strength born from steady inner practice, improved concentration and memory. In our world of endless distraction, focused attention is a rare and precious skill. Meditation trains your mind to rest quietly on a single anchor, be it the breath, a mantra, or the simple act of being present. Like a muscle, the more you train your attention, the stronger it becomes. With sharpened focus comes greater clarity. You begin to see connections you once missed, how thoughts ripple into actions, how emotions are triggered by hidden beliefs, and how everything in truth is interconnected. This heightened mental clarity serves you not only in work or study, but also in your spiritual journey, allowing you to witness the intricate patterns and interwoven relationships that define our shared existence. Physical health benefits. The body and mind are not separate. They are deeply intertwined. As your inner world grows more peaceful and clear, your body responds in kind. Research continues to uncover the powerful ways mindfulness can support physical health, lowered blood pressure, reduced chronic pain, better sleep, and a stronger immune system. Imagine your body not as a battlefield, but as a sacred space, restored by breath, nurtured by stillness, and renewed by presence. The journey of mindfulness and meditation is not about becoming a different person, but about discovering who you already are, beneath the noise, beyond the pain, and within the quiet center of your being. This is not a journey of outward achievement, but of inward awakening. The question is not when will I find peace, but how can I show up for this moment, just as it is. When you begin this practice, whether for a few minutes each morning, or in the midst of daily activity, the world does not change around you, but something within you shifts. A door opens, a light appears, and the ordinary becomes sacred. This is the invitation of mindfulness, not to escape life, but to live it fully, honestly, and with compassion for yourself and others. Your path may not always be easy, but it is always yours, and in each breath, each moment of stillness, you are coming home. When you practice mindfulness, you are not just calming your mind, you are healing yourself from the inside out. A healthy body supports a calmer mind. Together they build a stable foundation for spiritual growth. This is not self-indulgence, it is sacred maintenance of the vessel you inhabit, a form of reverence for your own life. Bringing mindfulness into everyday life, you don't need to retreat to a mountain monastery to live mindful. The real test and reward of mindfulness is how it becomes woven into daily routines, elevating the ordinary into something sacred. Here are ways to shift from seeing mindfulness as a task to embracing it as a new way of being. Mindful eating. Instead of rushing through meals on autopilot, slow down. Notice the colors, textures, and aromas of your food. Savor each bite with full attention. When you eat with awareness, a simple meal becomes a spiritual ritual, cultivating gratitude and presence in every moment. Mindful walking. Let each step be a meditation. Feel the weight shift, the earth beneath your feet. Listen to the world around you. Synchronize your breath with your stride. Walking transforms from a means to an end into a practice of being fully here, right now. Mindful listening. Next time someone speaks, offer your full presence. Resist the urge to formulate your reply while they're still talking. Truly listen, and notice how this deep presence fosters meaningful connections and helps you attune to the subtle energy of the moment. A daily meditation practice. Start small. Even 5 minutes can shift your inner landscape. Choose a quiet corner, close your eyes, and follow your breath. Let thoughts come and go without chasing them. Consistency matters more than duration. Meditating at the same time each day turns practice into a grounding habit, an anchor in life's chaos. Use of mantras. Mantras are powerful anchors for the wandering mind. Repeating a sacred phrase, silently or aloud, focuses your attention and steadies your awareness. Choose a mantra that resonates with your spirit, and let its rhythm guide you towards stillness, clarity, and inner mindfulness, meditation, and life. Mindfulness and meditation are not escapes from life. They are doorways into it. They give you the courage to meet chaos with calm, the unknown with trust, and yourself with compassion. These practices gently awaken the part of you that is always steady, always wise, always whole. Every moment of awareness is a step toward freedom. Every conscious breath is a quiet act of revolution. Healing happens not in isolation, but in the heart of daily life. Your transformation is already underway. Mindfulness as a gateway to understanding. As your practice deepens, the insights of karma, impermanence, and interconnectedness move from theory to lived experience. You begin to see how today's thoughts and actions shape tomorrow, how the past has led you here, and how everything is in a state of change. This awareness brings flexibility and openness, helping you recognize your profound tie to all life. The impact of your actions on others, on the environment, becomes vivid and meaningful. Mindfulness and meditation thus become practical tools for spiritual awakening, guiding you toward a life of greater peace, wisdom, and enlightened ethical living. The heart of Buddhist practice. Buddhism teaches that spiritual growth depends not only on meditation and mindfulness, but on ethical living. This is the practical application of karma, impermanence, and interconnectedness. Choices made in harmony with these principles enhance personal growth and contribute to the well-being of society and the planet. The foundations of Buddhist ethics. Buddhist ethics rest on the understanding that every action has a consequence. This is the law of karma. Positive actions lead to well-being. Negative actions lead to suffering. Ethical living then is about making choices that promote happiness, peace, and liberation for yourself and others. The core ethical precepts in Buddhism: refraining from harming living beings, taking what is not given, sexual misconduct, lying, and using intoxicants that cloud the mind, are not rigid rules but compassionate guidelines. They help you cultivate integrity and extend kindness to all. Non-harming. The principle of non-harming, APSA, goes beyond physical violence. It includes speech and thought. Practicing non-harming means considering the impact of your actions on others, fostering a life of empathy and care. Practical steps might include adopting a vegetarian or vegan diet to minimize harm to animals, or practicing mindful speech to avoid misunderstandings and hurt. Generosity. Dana. Generosity is fundamental to Buddhist ethics. Giving freely, whether resources, time, or kindness, cultivates abundance and counters greed. Look for opportunities to give without expectation, from volunteering to offering a listening ear. Truthfulness. Honesty builds trust and harmony in relationships. Telling the truth, even when it's difficult, supports clarity and connection. The ripple effect. By embracing mindfulness, meditation, and ethical living, you not only transform yourself, you contribute to the healing of your community and the world. Each mindful action sends ripples of positivity, understanding, and peace into the broader web of life. In practice, begin where you are. Integrate mindfulness into daily routines. Eat, walk, listen, and breathe with awareness. Meditate regularly, even for a few minutes each day. Choose actions rooted in kindness and integrity. Over time, these practices cease to be tasks and become your natural way of living, a life awake to possibility, connection, and deep well-being. Every moment is an invitation to wake up, to heal, to grow, and to contribute to the world's healing. The journey is yours, step by mindful step. Truthfulness, beyond honesty, toward authenticity. Being truthful in the Buddhist sense means more than simply avoiding lies. It's a call to authenticity, to express yourself honestly in every interaction, whether personal or professional. This means sharing your genuine thoughts and emotions and acting with transparency. Practical steps toward this include committing to honest conversations, especially when it feels vulnerable, and striving to be true to yourself and others in all aspects of life. Mindful consumption, awareness in action. Mindful consumption takes the idea of mindfulness beyond meditation. It's about being fully aware of what you take in, be it food, media, or resources, and considering how your choices affect yourself, others, and the environment. This principle is deeply rooted in the Buddhist teaching of interconnectedness. Our actions ripple outward, shaping the health of our communities and the planet. To apply this, seek out ethically sourced and environmentally friendly products, reduce waste, recycle proactively, and be selective about the media you engage with, choosing content that uplifts and informs, rather than divides or distresses. Patience and tolerance. The power of equanimity. When life presents delays, frustrations, or disagreements, patience and tolerance help us remain calm and grounded. These virtues are essential for inner peace and harmonious relationships. Practically, use mindfulness techniques like deep breathing or pausing before reacting to maintain composure. Try to understand others' perspectives, which fosters empathy and reduces conflict. By practicing patience, you nurture peace within yourself and in your surroundings. Compassion, karuna. Responding to suffering with kindness. Compassion is a central Buddhist ideal, the heartfelt wish to alleviate the suffering of others. It emerges naturally from an understanding of impermanence and interconnectedness. We're all vulnerable, and we all face hardship. Real-world application includes volunteering in your community, supporting initiatives that relieve suffering, and simply seeking to understand what others are going through. Act with empathy and kindness wherever you can. Even small gestures can have profound effect. Living with integrity, the ripple effect of Buddhist ethics. Ethical living in Buddhism is more than a private commitment. It's a sacred act that reverberates outward. Each choice rooted in compassion, honesty, or generosity becomes a thread in the tapestry of life, quietly shaping the world. Buddhist ethics isn't about guilt or rigid rules. It's about intention, awareness, and connection. Living in a way that honors our mutual dependence. When we act with kindness, avoid harm, and share what we can, these actions ripple outward, uplifting others and fostering a more compassionate world. Integrity isn't always easy. It demands ongoing mindfulness, honest self-examination, and the courage to rise above our reactive habits. It invites us to embody compassion in everyday moments, not just in grand gestures. This path is not a straight line. It's a daily recommitment to realigning with your deepest values. As you walk it, you begin to live not just for yourself, but in service of a kinder, more just world. Integrity becomes not a burden, but a quiet joy, a guiding light through life's unpredictability. Community and compassion awakening together. While inner work is essential, the Buddhist path is not meant to be walked alone. Sangha, the spiritual community, is one of Buddhism's three jewels, alongside the Buddha and the Dharma, a living reminder that we awaken together. Sangha is more than a group of like-minded individuals. It's a sacred space for shared learning, mutual support, and collective growth. Here practitioners support one another through doubt, confusion, and hardship, offering encouragement, clarity, and warmth. The Sangha reminds us that we don't need to have all the answers alone. We learn from each other's lived experiences and in the community, practice is not a solitary struggle, but a shared journey. Practitioners help each other deepen their meditation, understand the teachings, and apply them in daily life. When one stumbles, others are there to help them rise. When one grows, the whole community is uplifted. This mutual support is especially vital when facing spiritual challenges, reminding us that awakening is both a personal and collective effort. By weaving these principles, truthfulness, mindful consumption, patience, compassion, integrity, and community, into your daily life, you begin to embody Buddhist wisdom not as an abstract philosophy, but as a living, breathing way of being. Each step, each choice, becomes a thread in a vast web, quietly shaping a world of greater peace, understanding, and connection. When we encounter moral dilemmas, inner conflict, or emotional distress, our community, the Sangha, becomes more than companionship. It acts as a mirror, guide, and sanctuary. Memory. Its uniqueness does not rest in uniformity, but in the unity that emerges from diversity. Regardless of background, temperament, or role, Sangha members are bound by shared values: non-harm, compassion, truthfulness, and spiritual integrity. This ethical foundation nurtures both a sense of belonging and a deeper purpose, a shared direction. Though each walks at their own pace, yet all are guided by the same light. Within this community, collective wisdom surpasses what any one individual could have. In Buddhism, those with more experience, monks, nuns, seasoned practitioners, offer guidance shaped not just by scripture, but by lived encounter. Their presence reassures newcomers that though the path may be steep, it is navigable and deeply worthwhile. This communal mentorship cultivates not only knowledge, but also confidence and resilience along the spiritual journey. Ethical living, community, and compassion are not separate strands in Buddhism. They are interwoven threads of the same fabric memory. Living with integrity deepens our compassion. Rooted in compassion, we are drawn to community, and within community, we find the strength to continue practicing ethics even when the way is hard. The beauty of the Buddhist path is that it leads not only to personal enlightenment, but also to collective awakening. Each mindful action, every compassionate gesture, contributes to a broader movement toward a world where wisdom, kindness, and clarity can cultivating compassion in daily life. Compassion, karuna, is not passive sympathy, but an active wish to relieve the suffering of others, rooted in the recognition of our shared vulnerability. It starts with understanding and empathy, the ability to connect with others' experience. Mindfulness and meditation cultivate this empathy by expanding our capacity for attunement and emotional connection. True compassion goes beyond intention. It involves active engagement. This might mean offering direct support to those in need, volunteering, or engaging in activism to address broader causes of suffering, such as injustice or environmental harm. Compassion also requires a non-judgmental attitude, recognizing that all beings are shaped by their own histories and circumstances, helps us approach others without condemnation, but with openness and kindness. Practical applications: building community, regular gatherings in person or virtual, help strengthen community bonds and accommodate diverse needs. These shared spaces become sources of support, learning, and inspiration. Shared projects, engaging in initiatives that benefit both the community and the wider world. Charity events, meditation retreats, environmental cleanups, fosters purpose and cooperation. Open communication, transparent, respectful dialogue, ensures all voices are heard and valued, sustaining the community's vitality. Mindful assistance. Look for everyday opportunities to help, whether supporting a colleague, comforting a friend, or volunteering. Educational outreach, sharing the principles of compassion and interconnectedness through blogs, workshops, or talks, broadens the impact and deepens your own practice. Environmental care, recognizing our interconnectedness with the living world. Care for the environment is an essential expression of compassion, a ripple that benefits countless beings. The practice of building community and extending compassion is not merely about personal growth. It is about transforming society by creating pockets of support, ethics, and shared purpose. In this way, we help forge a microcosm of the world we wish to see, a place where ethical living, mutual care, and collective awakening are possible. By walking this path together, not alone, we honor the sacred interconnectedness of all things, becoming not just students of the Dharma, but vessels of its light for the world. Memory. Buddhist principles of community, compassion, acceptance, and resilience offer far more than spiritual solace. They are practical tools for navigating life's inevitable hardships and for building a society marked by greater empathy and collaboration. The practical power of compassion and community. Each act of compassion, each gesture of understanding and support, ripples outward, contributing to a broader movement toward global empathy and interconnectedness. Memory. This isn't just a lofty ideal. As people embody and enact these Buddhist values, they generate real solutions to many of the world's everyday challenges. The spiritual and ethical foundation of Buddhism thus merges with practical action, demonstrating that inner work has outward consequences, fostering communities where mutual care, clear communication, and shared purpose become the norm, not the exception. Acceptance and resilience. Navigating life's challenges. In Buddhist thought, acceptance is not passive surrender, but a clear-eyed, courageous engagement with reality. It means recognizing and embracing the impermanent nature of all things, relationships, careers, even life itself. When we let go of the futile wish for things to stay the same, we reduce unnecessary suffering and align our expectations with the truth of constant change. This doesn't mean giving up hope. Rather, it allows for a realistic optimism, meeting the world as it is, while still nurturing aspiration. Resilience grows from this foundation of acceptance. It is the capacity to recover from setbacks, to transform difficulty into strength, insight, and compassion. Resilient individuals don't avoid pain, they learn from it, using mindfulness, meditation, and community support to process grief, adapt to change, and even thrive under pressure. Buddhist practices that build resilience include meditation and mindfulness. Cultivating a calm, observant mind that can face adversity without being overwhelmed. Reflection on impermanence, regularly contemplating the transient nature of all things, which helps release attachment and foster adaptability. Developing compassion, extending kindness, especially to oneself during hardship, which alleviates stress and accelerates recovery. Practical applications in daily life. These principles are not just for monks or retreatants, they are tools for everyday living, dealing with loss. Acceptance allows us to fully process grief and use it as a catalyst for transformation rather than a permanent wound. Managing stress. Acceptance helps us address daily stressors mindfully, without panic or avoidance. Adapting to change. In volatile environments, resilience enables us to learn, grow, and continue contributing effectively. Leadership. Leaders who model acceptance and resilience create supportive, adaptable teams and organizations. Fostering community. Acceptance nurtures tolerance and understanding, helping diverse groups find harmony and shared purpose. Acceptance and resilience, rooted in Buddhist teachings, provide a robust framework for facing life's ups and downs. By embracing these principles, we reduce suffering, enhance peace of mind, and develop the strength to turn difficulty into opportunity. The result is a more compassionate, connected, and resilient world, one where each of us, through our choices and actions, contributes to a collective awakening that is both spiritual and deeply practical. When we embrace Buddhist principles of acceptance and resilience, we do more than simply cope with hardship. We reduce suffering, cultivate peace of mind, and discover the strength to transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Whether in our personal lives, workplaces, or communities, these practices foster a more balanced, compassionate, and fulfilling existence. A community enriched by diverse perspectives and experiences becomes stronger and more inclusive. When support systems intentionally nurture resilience, they create robust networks capable of withstanding collective challenges, be they natural disasters, economic crises, or social upheaval. In such times, the bonds forged through shared values and mutual care prove essential, offering not just solace, but practical strength. Buddhist approaches to acceptance and resilience are more than coping strategies. They are profound insights into the nature of impermanence and interconnectedness. These teachings do not merely help individuals survive life's turbulence, they empower them to thrive, using difficulties as stepping stones toward wisdom and compassion. By practicing acceptance, we learn to live in harmony with reality, easing our suffering and enhancing inner peace. Through resilience, we not only recover from setbacks, but emerge wiser and more compassionate, turning adversity into a catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. This transformation is not limited to the individual. When acceptance and resilience become communal values, they ripple outward, enabling entire groups to face life's uncertainties with balance, empathy, and communities rooted in these principles become places where people can embrace both joy and sorrow with equal poise, contributing to a society that is more mindful, compassionate, and resilient. In essence, Buddhist teachings on acceptance and resilience do not just offer a way to endure life, they provide a path to enrich it. They remind us that every moment, no matter how difficult, carries the potential for future growth and happiness. By integrating these teachings, we learn to navigate life's complexities with grace and courage, uncovering deeper meaning and satisfaction in our journey. Finding peace and purpose in hardship. A Buddhist perspective. In the landscape of Buddhist teachings, finding peace and understanding the purpose behind life's challenges are not abstract ideals, but practical tools for transformation. Buddhism teaches that every aspect of life, including its difficulties, can serve as a profound opportunity for growth and even enlightenment. This perspective allows practitioners not only to endure hardship, but to derive meaning and strength from it. Understanding the role of hardship. Buddhism recognizes that suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience. The First Noble Truth acknowledges this reality, but it is our response to suffering that opens the door to personal and spiritual development. Challenges are not merely obstacles, they are catalysts that compel us to explore deeper truths about ourselves and the interconnected nature of existence. The nature of suffering. Suffering arises from attachment, ignorance, and aversion. By understanding these roots, we can approach life's difficulties with a new perspective, seeing them as opportunities to practice detachment and cultivate wisdom. Karma and life lessons. Hardships are often understood in the context of karma, the law of cause and effect. Rather than seeing karma as punishment, Buddhism views it as a mechanism for growth. Every difficulty is a lesson meant to refine our character and guide our spiritual journey. Practical steps for embracing hardship. Meditation and mindfulness. Regular meditation cultivates a calm, focused mind capable of observing life's challenges without being overwhelmed. Mindfulness helps us recognize the transient nature of our experiences and emotions, making it easier to meet hardship with clarity and equanimity. Cultivating equanimity. Practices like loving kindness, metta, and compassion, karuna, foster emotional balance, enabling us to face difficulties with grace and composure. Philosophical reflection. Contemplating impermanence helps us remember that all things, including our struggles, are temporary. This awareness can soften the intensity of hardship, framing it as a significant, yet passing, chapter in our journey. Understanding interconnectedness. Reflecting on the interconnected nature of all life allows us to see our personal struggles as part of a much larger tapestry. This realization can inspire a sense of shared humanity and collective resilience. By embracing Buddhist teachings on acceptance, resilience, impermanence, and interconnectedness, we learn not just to cope with life, but to live it fully, transforming hardship into wisdom and adversity into compassion. These practices empower us to build stronger, more inclusive communities and to contribute to a world marked by greater understanding, peace, and purpose. Every challenge, when met with mindfulness and courage, becomes an opportunity not just for survival, but for genuine flourish. The transformative power of Buddhist approaches to hardship, bridging isolation, belonging, and purpose. Buddhist teachings directly address the pervasive feelings of isolation that can arise during difficult times by emphasizing interconnectedness. This perspective is not theoretical, it offers a lived experience of belonging and shared purpose. When we recognize that suffering is universal, we no longer feel alone in our struggle. Instead, hardship becomes a bridge, drawing us closer to others and deepening our sense of connection within a wider community. This is not passive acceptance, it's an active, compassionate engagement with life that reframes adversity as an opportunity for collective and individual growth. Applying patience, tolerance, and compassion. Patience in Buddhism is more than endurance, it's the ability to pause, observe, and meet life with a present, objective mind. Patience allows us to step back and see situations clearly, reducing emotional reactivity and enabling wiser responses. Tolerance complements patience. It's the art of accepting the imperfections and unpredictability of life, finding peace, not by avoiding chaos, but by coexisting with it. Together, they cultivate equanimity, a calm, balanced mind, regardless of circumstance. Compassion and altruism are not luxuries, but necessities, especially during hardship. Actively practicing kindness shifts our focus from personal distress to others' well-being. This outward focus paradoxically relieves our own suffering and builds emotional resilience as our capacity for empathy and altruism expands alongside our challenge. Harnessing hardship for growth and community strength. Building resilience. Every challenge, when approached with mindfulness and acceptance, strengthens emotional and spiritual resilience. Buddhist practice teaches us to not just bounce back, but to grow through adversity, emerging stronger and wiser memory. Enhancing self-knowledge. Difficulties force us to confront fears, vulnerabilities, and habitual patterns. This self-confrontation fosters authentic self-awareness and self-mastery, crucial for healthy relationships and community life. Strengthening community bonds, sharing struggles, and supporting others in times of need build robust, caring community. Experiencing hardship together deepens empathy, fosters trust, and forges connections that withstand life's stress. Cultivating empathy. Our own suffering can become the basis for genuine empathy, allowing us to connect with and understand the suffering of others, and to respond with kindness and wisdom. The deeper wisdom of surrender. The Zen proverb, "Let go or be dragged," captures the essence of surrender in Buddhist practice. This is not defeatism, but wisdom born from recognizing the limitations of control and attachment to outcomes, identities, plans, or even ideas is the root of much suffering. True surrender is an active release, a letting go of the compulsive need to control life's flow. Embracing impermanence. All things change. Resisting this truth only deepens suffering. Acceptance of impermanence brings inner peace and flexibility in the face of change. Trusting the process. Surrender involves a quiet, steadfast trust in life's unfolding, even when it's not understood in the moment. It is a trust that life is not random, but part of a larger, intelligent process beyond our limited vision. Letting go with grace. Surrender is not loss, but liberation. It softens the ego's grip, creating space for genuine presence, openness, and alignment with the reality of the present moment. Conclusion. A path to meaning, fulfillment, and collective awakening. The Buddhist approach to hardship is transformative. It does not seek to erase suffering, but to integrate it into the journey of awakening. By embracing impermanence, interconnectedness, and the wisdom of surrender, we can find deeper meaning and satisfaction in our lives. Each obstacle becomes a teacher, each loss a doorway to growth, and each connection a mirror of our shared humanity. This path does not ignore the pain or difficulty of life's challenges. Instead, it offers a practical, compassionate framework for navigating complexity, fostering resilience, and contributing to a more mindful, empathetic world. Ultimately, when we practice patience, tolerance, compassion, and surrender, both individually and collectively, we do more than endure, we thrive, and help build a world where suffering is met with wisdom and hardship with hope. Embracing surrender, a mindful path to peace and grace. Surrender is not resignation, it's a courageous, open-hearted way of meeting life. It begins with trust, not in passive hope, but in active presence. This trust invites us to listen deeply, respond gently, and allow life to unfold in its own time. Through mindfulness and meditation, we anchor ourselves in the present moment, the only place where true surrender is possible. Here we learn to release resistance, soften our grip, and with each breath, discover a growing confidence, both in life and in ourselves. The art of surrender. Surrender is not a single dramatic act, but a daily, compassionate practice. It requires mindfulness, awareness of the present, patience, allowing what is to be, and inner strength, facing reality without armor. This is not weakness, it's the bravery to meet life as it is. Practical ways to cultivate surrender in meditation. Mindfulness, meditation. Sit quietly and observe your thoughts and emotions as they arise. Don't try to fix, control, or banish them. Simply notice, and in this noticing, create a spaciousness within. Gradually, this non-reactive awareness becomes a sanctuary, a place where letting go feels natural and safe. Letting go meditation. Use guided visualizations to release attachments. Imagine placing your worries on leaves, watching them float away on a stream, or see your desires dissolving like morning mist. These images gently shift your inner landscape toward ease and freedom. In daily life, acceptance of what is. Meet each moment, whether a traffic jam, delayed flight, or unexpected conversation, without resistance or judgment. Breathe into it. Let go of the story, this shouldn't be happening. Acceptance is not passivity, it's the strength to face reality with grace. Non-attachment to outcomes. Engage fully in your actions, but loosen your grip on results. Paint for the love of painting. Speak your truth, without needing to win. Do your best, and trust the rest to unfold. Non-attachment is not indifference, it's the soil where true freedom grows. Cultivating equanimity. Develop a calm center that remains steady, undisturbed by life's highs and lows. Practice responding to joy and sorrow with the same open heart. When rooted in equanimity, surrender becomes second nature. Using loss and change as teachers, life continually invites us to release relationships, roles, routines, even identities. Instead of clinging, let these moments become opportunities to practice surrender. Each act of release, large or small, deepens your trust in life's rhythm. The hidden gifts of surrender. When we soften our need to control, transformation occurs. Reduced stress and anxiety. The compulsion to control is exhausting. Surrender lightens this burden, allowing you to move through life with greater ease. As you stop fighting reality, you begin to flow, and peace, increased joy and contentment. Surrender opens the door to a quiet, enduring joy, not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in simply being alive. Freed from constant striving, you savor what is, rather than mourn what isn't. Deeper spiritual insight. True surrender is a gateway beyond the ego's desires, inviting communion with something vaster. Here, boundaries between self and universe blur, and you touch a sense of the sacred, remembering you are held, guided, and surrender in relationships and community. Surrender is not just an inner experience, it ripples outward, enriching our connections with others. In relationships, surrender might mean listening without planning your response, or offering support without needing credit. In community, it's shown through patience, tolerance, and the willingness to trust collective wisdom. These qualities strengthen bonds, foster empathy, and create resilient networks of care, essential in times of shared hardship. The path of surrender is a mindful, compassionate, and practical way of being. It does not erase life's challenges, but transforms our relationship with them. By practicing acceptance, non-attachment, and equanimity, both in solitude and in community, we discover a deeper peace, joy, and connection. Surrender is not the end of the journey, but a beautiful beginning, a daily invitation to live with grace, courage, and open-hearted trust in life's unfolding mystery memory. Let this be your guide. Each breath, each mindful moment of letting go, is a step on the sacred path toward yourself, toward others, and toward the peace that has always been available when we simply learn to surrender. Your passage beautifully captures the essence of Buddhist surrender, not as a passive giving up, but as a profound, active engagement with life's unfolding. Here's a revised, cohesive version that maintains your themes and voice, emphasizes the collective impact of surrender, and clearly connects Buddhist wisdom with practical daily life. The ripple effect of surrender, stronger relationships, more compassionate communities. When we embody surrender, releasing our compulsive need to control or fix our way of being, radiates outward, transforming not only our inner world, but also how we relate to others and engage with society. Stronger, healthier relationships. Letting go of the impulse to control others creates a spacious, genuine quality in our relationships. Love deepens when we listen fully without rushing to fix, judge, or pursue. This kind of surrender is not a form of resignation or weakness. It is a strength that allows true intimacy to flourish. When we accept others as they are, relationships become foundations of mutual respect and freedom, safe havens, where growth and vulnerability are possible. Resilient and compassionate communities. Communities rooted in practices of surrender adapt more gracefully to uncertainty and change. Whether facing social upheaval, natural disasters, or economic hardship, these groups meet adversity, not with panic, but with presence. Collective surrender fosters collaboration, flexibility, and mutual support, binding people together in a shared spirit of resilience and care. Surrender as the pathway to peace. In a world obsessed with control, outcomes, and relentless striving, surrender, taught as a core Buddhist insight, offers a profound antidote. It reminds us that peace is not found in mastering every detail of life, but in learning to let go with love. This practice does not erase life's challenges. Instead, it transforms how we respond to them. Instead of being buffeted by every storm, we develop steadiness and calm within. Rather than clinging to the riverbank, we trust the current, discovering that surrender is not an end, but a new beginning, a way of living with less fear and more faith, fewer demands, and deeper understanding. Through surrender, we come home, not to a perfect life, but to a peaceful heart, not to a fixed outcome, but to a flowing sacred journey. Embracing life's sacred journey through Buddhist wisdom. Buddhism teaches us our lives are not random events, but sacred journeys, continuous processes of learning, transformation, and awakening. Every experience, every emotion, every unexpected turn is neither mistake nor accident, but an essential part of our spiritual evolution and growth. What appears as a detour may be the very path we need. What seems like loss may be our greatest teacher. To walk the path of surrender is to walk with open hands and an open heart, releasing the illusion of control and embracing life's mystery, knowing that every step, even the difficult ones, guides us toward deeper truth, greater freedom, and the radiant awakening of our own spirit. Understanding life as a journey, Buddhism views life as a journey toward enlightenment, a state of profound insight and peace, marked by the cessation of suffering and the realization of nirvana. The Eightfold Path, right understanding, intent, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration, is the practical guide for this journey, helping us to align our lives with wisdom and compassion. Mindfulness is the key tool here, maintaining moment-by-moment awareness of thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and our surroundings. Mindfulness enables us to be fully present, responding to life situations with wisdom rather than reacting from habit, ignorance, or fear. Practical steps for the journey: meditation and daily practices. Daily meditation builds focus, clarity, and tranquility, helping us remain present and engaged, even amidst difficult. Mindful living. Bringing mindfulness into everyday activities, eating, walking, listening, turns ordinary moments into opportunities for presence and appreciation. Study and reflection, regular study of Buddhist teachings, and engagement in discussion groups enriches understanding and supports ongoing growth. Retreats and workshops, participating in these offers dedicated time for deep practice, refreshment, and renewed commitment to the path. The role of challenges in spiritual growth. Buddhism acknowledges suffering as a fundamental part of existence, a powerful teacher in disguise. By facing and understanding our suffering, we open the door to deepest personal and spiritual growth. Every difficulty or challenge we encounter can be viewed as a teaching, a catalyst for transformation, and a stepping stone on the path toward enlightenment. Through the practices of surrender, mindfulness, and compassion, we not only transform our own lives, but also contribute to the healing of our relationships and community. By letting go of rigid control and trusting life's flow, we discover resilience, peace, and the true meaning of connection, awakening to the sacred journey that is always unfolding within and around us. Surrender, then, is not a final destination, but a gateway to living with greater freedom, love, and presence, a way of being that honors the luminous wisdom already alive within each of us. As we practice, we not only walk our own path, we help shape a world where kindness, clarity, and connection can flourish for all. Transforming difficulties into spiritual growth. By understanding the true nature of our difficulties, neither avoiding them nor identifying with them, we can fundamentally transform our approach to life's challenges. Instead of being obstacles, our struggles become stepping stones on the path to enlightenment. Memory. Building resilience, cultivating patience, and persistence. In Buddhism, resilience is the capacity to endure hardships without losing peace of mind. It is not passive endurance, but an active, conscious engagement with suffering. Patience and persistence are essential companions on this journey. They help us remain committed to spiritual practice, especially when faced with adversity or slow progress. Patience is cultivated by returning again and again to the present moment, while persistence is about steady, gentle effort, progress through consistency, not force. Acceptance and letting go. Acceptance of circumstances, emotions, and situations beyond our control is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Learning to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes frees us from unnecessary mental and emotional turbulence. This acceptance is not resignation, it is the wisdom to distinguish between what we can change and what we must embrace as it is. The role of community, support, and shared wisdom. The Buddhist path is not meant to be walked alone. The Sangha, the community of practitioners, provides essential support, compassion, and wisdom. Fellow travelers offer encouragement, share insights, and remind us of our shared humanity. Learning from others' experiences can be invaluable in overcoming our own obstacles and staying on the path. The Sangha is a living reminder that spiritual growth is both an individual and a collective journey, embracing each step with mindfulness and purpose. Life seen through the lens of Buddhist teachings is a continuous process of learning, practicing, experiencing, and growing. A cycle that includes both clarity and confusion, joy and sorrow. Each moment, whether easy or difficult, is an opportunity to deepen our understanding and progress toward enlightenment. By approaching life with mindfulness, ethical integrity, and compassion, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute positively to those around us. Cultivating patience and trust, foundations for a peaceful life. Patience, Khanti, is one of the perfections, paramitas, essential for enlightenment. It is the ability to endure difficulties without frustration or anger, accepting each moment as it is. Trust in the Buddhist sense is multifaceted: faith in the Dharma, the teachings, confidence in one's inherent Buddha nature, the potential for awakening in all beings, and acceptance of the law of karma, cause and effect. Practical steps for cultivating patience and trust. Mindfulness meditation, Regular practice helps us observe impulses and reactions without immediately acting on them, creating a space between stimulus and response where patience can grow. Meditation on patience directly contemplate emotions and situations that test patience, reflecting on their impermanent nature. Practice scenarios that typically trigger impatience in a meditative state. Daily practice, use everyday annoyances, traffic, waiting, difficult interactions, as opportunities to strengthen patience. Reflective journaling can help track progress and identify growth areas. Trust in the Dharma. Regular study and reflection on Buddhist teachings deepen faith and understanding. Trust in one's Buddha nature, affirm your innate potential for awakening. This self-trust is a foundation for spiritual confidence. Trust in karma, recognize and accept the natural law of cause and effect. This understanding encourages patience and helps us face life's unpredictability with greater equanimity. Conclusion. A journey of transformation by cultivating patience, trust, resilience, acceptance, and compassion. We learn to navigate life's complexities with greater grace and ease. These qualities, nurtured through meditation, daily reflection, and the support of a spiritual community, enable us to face adversity not as victims, but as learners and practitioners on the path to awakening. Every challenge, every moment of clarity or confusion, becomes a teacher and a stepping stone. The Buddhist path, then, is not just a way to cope with life's difficulties, but a transformative journey that reshapes how we perceive ourselves and the world around us, leading toward true peace, freedom, and genuine connection with all beings. The wisdom of impermanence, finding peace, purpose, and connection. The nature of impermanence. In Buddhist philosophy, impermanence is a fundamental truth. From the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy, from fleeting thoughts to aging bodies, nothing remains static. All things arise, persist for a time, and then pass away. This continuous flux is not just an observation about the world, it's a lens through which we can understand our own lives, our emotions, relationships, and even our sense of self. The link to suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment, clinging to people, possessions, or circumstances, is a primary cause of suffering. Memory. We suffer not simply because things change, but because we expect them not to. We resist the reality of impermanence, creating tension between what we want and what is. By accepting that change is inevitable, we loosen the grip of attachment and fear, allowing peace and freedom to emerge. Practical steps for embracing impermanence. Mindful meditation. Regular meditation sharpens our awareness of the body, breath, and world as processes in constant flux. Watching thoughts come and go, sensations rise and fade, we directly experience the truth of impermanence. Acceptance in daily life. Facing life's changes, job loss, the end of a relationship, or even shifting daily plans, with acceptance, reduces psychological resistance and emotional distress. Letting go. Practically, we can declutter possessions, alter routines, and release fixed ideas, all as exercises in non-attachment. This practice extends into our relationships, encouraging us to enjoy connection without possessive clinging. Gratitude practice, focusing on the present and practicing gratitude for what is here now, can shift our orientation from loss to appreciation, enhancing overall well-being. The role of impermanence in personal growth. Growth through loss. Every ending carries a lesson. Reflecting on loss reveals our resilience and capacity for renewal, deepening self-knowledge and emotional maturity. Renewal and resilience. Just as nature cycles through seasons, our own lives move through phases. Recognizing this pattern can foster optimism, creativity, and adaptability, key strengths for a fulfilling life. Acceptance. By strengthening our ability to accept what we cannot change, we find a deeper sense of calm and stability, even amidst turbulence. Navigating relationships with impermanence. Deeper connection. Knowing relationships are temporary urges us to be more present, loving, and forgiving. Each moment together becomes precious, not to be squandered in indifference or healthy detachment. Appreciating that all connections eventually change or end helps us love without grasping, reducing the pain of separation and loss. Impermanence and community. Community resilience. Communities grounded in an understanding of impermanence adapt more gracefully to social, economic, and environmental shifts. They foster collective coping, mutual support, and renewal memory. Support systems. By building networks that acknowledge change, we create safety nets for those facing transition, illness, or loss, reinforcing the fabric of community. Sustainable and ethical living. Recognizing the ephemeral nature of resources inspires more sustainable, mindful consumption and environmental stewardship, echoing Buddhist ethics of compassion and interdependence. Memory. Conclusion. Embracing impermanence as a path to fulfillment. Far from inducing despair, the Buddhist teaching of impermanence offers a liberating framework for living. It reminds us to hold experiences, possessions, and relationships lightly, savoring each moment as it arises and passes. By nurturing acceptance, resilience, gratitude, and compassion, we transform our relationship with change, not fearfully resisting it, but wisely flowing with it. In this way, impermanence becomes a wellspring of peace, purpose, and deep connection, a foundation for a joyful, compassionate, and meaningful life. Memory. The liberating power of impermanence and compassion in a Buddhist life. When we deeply understand and embrace impermanence, we are freed from the grip of attachments and fears that often narrow our experience of life. This wisdom doesn't encourage us to disengage from our hopes, dreams, or relationships. Instead, it invites us to engage with them more fully and authentically, savoring each moment while holding them lightly, aware that all things are in flux. This awareness brings a profound sense of peace and presence that enriches every dimension of life, from personal growth to how we relate to others and participate in the world. Impermanence teaches us to live in harmony with life's natural flow, seeing change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth, renewal, and fresh beginnings. Every ending, then, is also a threshold, a chance for transformation and rebirth. By cultivating deep acceptance of change, we can find true inner peace and a lasting sense of fulfillment. Compassion. The heart of Buddhist practice, compassion, karuna, is not just a lofty ideal in Buddhism, it is the very heartbeat of the path. It is defined as the active wish for all beings to be free from suffering, a genuine aspiration to alleviate the distress of others, not merely to sympathize. This impulse springs from the realization of interconnectedness, that our own well-being is inseparable from the well-being of others and the world. Practical steps for cultivating compassion. Meditation practices. Loving kindness. Meditation metta involves silently extending goodwill to oneself and others. May I be happy. May you be happy. May all beings be happy. Gradually, this heart-opening practice grows to include all beings without exception. Compassion meditation deepens this practice, visualizing others' suffering and sending them relief and happiness in your imagination. Daily life applications. Active listening means being fully present with others, listening deeply without distraction or judgment. Acts of kindness, even small gestures, reinforce compassionate habits. Volunteer, help a neighbor, or simply offer a smile. Each act is a ripple of healing in the world. The personal and social impact of compassion, enhancing emotional resilience. Compassion builds empathy and emotional intelligence, helping us manage our own emotions while connecting with others' experience. This shift can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, replacing them with greater contentment and joy. Strengthening relationships. Compassion fosters trust, respect, and mutual care, the foundation of meaningful relationships. It encourages openness and honesty, making conflict easier to navigate and resolve harmoniously. Fostering community and social well-being. Compassion is contagious. It encourages altruism, strengthens community bonds, and builds social resilience. Societies and communities rooted in compassion are more inclusive, supportive, and capable of weathering adversity together. Global and environmental impact. Compassion extends beyond human relationships to encompass all living beings and the planet. It inspires ethical consumption, environmental stewardship, and activism for social justice and fair treatment of all life. The challenges and balancing self-compassion. Compassion can be demanding. Compassion fatigue, emotional exhaustion from helping others is a real risk. Healthy boundaries and self-care are essential. Self-compassion, treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding offered to others, is crucial for sustaining a compassionate life without burnout. In summary, the Buddhist journey of embracing impermanence and cultivating compassion offers a profoundly transformative way of living. By letting go of what cannot be held and opening our hearts to the suffering and joy of others and ourselves, we not only find greater peace and fulfillment, but also contribute to a more mindful, empathetic, and interconnected world. This is the heart of Buddhist practice, a path that begins with oneself, but whose ripples touch the lives of countless beings. Practicing self-compassion and overcoming barriers. Self-compassion, treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we offer others, is vital for emotional well-being and authentic compassion. It means extending forgiveness and care inward, especially during hardship, recognizing that we too are vulnerable to suffering. Memory. Without self-compassion, it's difficult to sustain empathy for others or cultivate genuine community. Overcoming barriers to compassion requires recognizing and addressing our own prejudices, biases, and conditioned responses that limit our capacity to empathize. Mindfulness and empathy training can be invaluable for those who struggle to connect with others' experiences, helping break down the emotional and cognitive walls that prevent authentic compassion. Empathy training, whether through guided practice, role-playing, or reflective journaling, teaches us to step into others' perspectives, enriching our ability to respond with true understanding. The transformative power of compassion. Cultivating compassion is more than a habit, it's a transformative practice that reshapes our interactions, our self-image, and our worldview. In Buddhism, compassion is both a pathway to enlightenment and a method for healing the world. By nurturing a compassionate heart, we generate a cycle of positive energy. What we extend outward benefits us inwardly, creating a self-reinforcing loop of well-being and connection. Compassion is not a one-time act, but an ongoing journey, requiring dedication, mindfulness, and the courage to grow. It challenges us to expand our understanding, deepen our relationships, and engage with life more richly. Through compassion, we see that the barriers between self and other are far less fixed than they seem. Our happiness and suffering are inextricably linked. This insight is at the heart of Buddhist ethics, where personal and collective well-being are. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, moves us closer to a world where suffering is a collective responsibility, a burden we all share and alleviate together. The benefits are profound: deeper personal satisfaction, healthier relationships, stronger communities, and a more peaceful, empathetic, and interconnected world. The wisdom of interconnectedness. Interconnectedness is a core tenet of Buddhist philosophy, often illustrated by the metaphor of Indra's net, a vast web where every being and phenomenon is reflected in all others, each a jewel reflecting all the rest. Memory. This vision emphasizes that nothing exists in isolation. Our actions ripple outward, affecting the entire network. Practical implications. Choices matter. Understanding our interconnectedness means recognizing that every decision, no matter how minor, has ripple effects impacting other beings, the environment, and future generations. Responsibility. When we act with this awareness, we are more likely to make choices that benefit not just ourselves, but all life. Practices for embracing interconnectedness. Interdependence meditation. Reflect on the countless ways your life depends on others, from the food you eat to the services you use, cultivating gratitude and a sense of shared faith. Nature meditations. Spend time in nature, observing the intricate web of life, to deepen your awareness of ecological and social interdependence. Mindful consumption. Make purchasing choices that consider environmental and social impact, supporting sustainability and justice. Community engagement. Participate in volunteer work, community gardening, or local initiatives to physically embody the principle of interconnectedness and personal growth. Self-awareness. Reflect regularly on how your actions affect others, fostering empathy and responsible behavior. Expanding perspective. Recognize yourself as part of a larger whole, broadening your concerns beyond the immediate or personal. Developing compassion. See others' suffering and happiness as connected to your own, motivating acts of kindness and solidarity. Global awareness. Acknowledge your role in global systems, seeking ways to support solutions for climate change, human rights, and global welfare. Interconnectedness in relationships and community. Stronger bonds. Appreciate how others contribute to your well-being, nurturing gratitude, respect, and conflict resolution. Approach disagreements with an attitude of interconnectedness, seeking mutual benefit and understanding rather than competition or domination. Compassion and interconnectedness are not just lofty ideals, they are practical tools for living a meaningful, fulfilling, and harmonious life. By practicing self-compassion, overcoming barriers to empathy, and embracing our deep interdependence, we transform not only ourselves but our relationships and community. Each step on this path enriches our own experience and ripples outward, contributing to a more peaceful, empathetic, and interconnected world. The journey is ongoing, demanding mindfulness, reflection, and commitment, but the rewards are boundless. With every act of kindness, every moment of self-awareness, and every gesture of connection, we move closer to realizing a world where suffering is met with collective care and joy is a shared experience. This is the heart of the Buddhist vision, a life lived in harmony with all beings, guided by wisdom, compassion, and interconnectedness. Memory. Strengthening community bonds through interconnectedness, the Buddhist principle that all beings, systems, and phenomena are woven together in a vast, interdependent web, is not just a philosophical idea, it's a practical guide for building resilient, compassionate community. When this awareness informs our actions, community bonds deepen, collective efforts become more effective, and support networks grow stronger, especially in times of crisis. Collaborative initiatives and community well-being, local sustainability and social welfare projects like community gardens, recycling programs, or social welfare initiatives succeed best when participants recognize their shared stake in outcomes. Seeing oneself as part of a larger whole fosters cooperation, boosts participation, and ensures more sustainable results. Support networks. A culture of interconnectedness nurtures robust support systems. In moments of crisis, whether personal loss, natural disaster, or economic hardship, these networks provide safety, comfort, and practical aid, embodying the Buddhist ideal of collective care. Challenges in practicing interconnectedness. Navigating complexity, acknowledging interdependence, means considering the ripple effects of our choices. This can make decision-making more nuanced, as it requires us to weigh multiple factors and potential impacts, ecosystems, and future generations. Overwhelm and responsibility. The scale of global challenges like poverty or climate change can feel daunting. The weight of responsibility that comes with recognizing our role in these systems may lead to feelings of overwhelm or even paralysis. Overcoming barriers. Education, mindfulness, and reflection. Education and awareness. Gaining knowledge about how systems are interconnected empowers individuals and communities to make informed, ethical decisions. Workshops, discussions, and accessible information can demystify complex issues and inspire meaningful action. Mindfulness and reflection. Regular mindfulness practice, such as meditation, walking meditation, or mindful eating, trains the mind to stay present, observe without judgment, and maintain emotional balance. Reflection helps us process the complexity of interconnectedness without becoming overwhelmed, fostering resilience and clarity. Practical steps: mindful communication, listening deeply, speaking with care, strengthens relationship. Mindful consumption encourages choices that honor ecological and social interdependence. Mindful engagement in community activities reinforces our sense of shared purpose. The transformative power of interconnectedness, embracing interconnectedness, changes how we live and relate to the world. It compels us to act with greater care and responsibility, knowing that our actions affect the entire web of life. This perspective nurtures empathy, cooperation, and a commitment to collective well-being. It also inspires us to think globally, act locally, understanding that even small, mindful actions contribute to larger change. Living mindfully, integrating Buddhist practices, definition and scope. Mindfulness, sati and pali, means being fully aware of the present moment, observing thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. It is central to the Buddhist path, supporting ethical living, meditation, and the pursuit of enlightenment. Connection to Buddhist teachings. Mindfulness is a key element of the Noble Eightfold Path, particularly in right mindfulness and right concentration. It enhances our capacity to live ethically, act compassionately, and cultivate inner peace. Daily practices. Mindfulness can be practiced formally through seated or walking meditation, and informally through mindful eating, communication, or daily chores. Each practice deepens presence, reduces stress, and enriches relationships. Conclusion: a path to purposeful, compassionate living. The practice of interconnectedness, rooted in mindfulness, offers a profound way to live with purpose and compassion. It teaches that caring for others and the planet is inseparable from caring for ourselves. Our well-being is inextricably linked with that of all beings. By cultivating awareness, education, and mindful action, we contribute to a culture where empathy, cooperation, and resilience flourish. In this way, the Buddhist vision of interconnectedness becomes not just a philosophy, but a lived experience, a path to personal and collective peace, health, and harmony. Memory, mindfulness, and interconnectedness together shape a life of deeper meaning. Each mindful step, each act of care, each moment of connection ripples outward, building a world where individual and collective well-being are truly one. Engaging mindfully in relationships and community. Active listening and thoughtful communication are foundational to meaningful relationships. When we give our full attention to conversations, listening attentively, responding with consideration, we foster deeper connection, mutual understanding, and trust. This mindful engagement transforms both our personal interactions and our broader social landscape. Mindfulness and personal growth. Mindfulness is more than a technique, it is a way of being that supports self-awareness, emotional regulation, and mental health, the cornerstones of personal growth. Enhancing self-awareness, mindfulness invites us to observe our thoughts, feelings, and impulses without judgment. This clear awareness reveals our real reactions, opening the door to conscious change and deeper self-understanding. Developing self-control. By noticing impulses as they arise, we create a pause between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose our actions deliberately rather than reacting on autopilot. This self-control is essential for ethical living and personal development. Improving mental health. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and negative emotional reactivity. It equips us to manage challenging situations with greater calm and resilience. Enhancing well-being. Mindfulness cultivates a greater appreciation for the present moment, enriching daily life with moments of joy and contentment. This shift reduces our tendency to regret the past or worry about the future, fostering a more fulfilling life experience. Mindfulness in relationships and community. Mindfulness is not just an internal practice, it transforms how we relate to others and participate in community. Fostering empathy and compassion. When we are fully present with others, our capacity for empathy expands. We become better listeners, more attuned to others' needs, and more able to respond with genuine compassion. Deeper connections. Mindful communication builds trust and intimacy, allowing for more authentic and meaningful relationships. Improving group dynamics. In work, family, or community settings, mindfulness enhances focus, reduces misunderstandings, and decreases conflict. Teams become more cohesive, collaborative, and productive. Building resilience. Communities that embrace mindfulness are better equipped to face challenges together. Mindful groups are more adaptable, supportive, and resilient in times of stress or change. Challenges in practicing mindfulness. Despite its benefits, mindfulness is not always easy to sustain. Consistency and discipline. Regular practice requires commitment and effort. Establishing and maintaining a routine is one of the most significant challenges. Overcoming distractions. In a world full of digital, social, and environmental distractions, staying present demands conscious intention and sometimes changes in daily habits or environments. Dealing with emotional discomfort. Mindfulness can bring awareness to painful thoughts and emotions. Learning to observe these without judgment or attachment is a crucial, though sometimes difficult skill. Balancing awareness and overwhelm. It's important to develop the ability to be fully present without being overwhelmed by what we notice. This balance is a subtle but essential aspect of mindful practice. The transformative power of mindfulness. Mindfulness, rooted in Buddhist tradition, transforms how we experience ourselves and the world. It invites us to live with greater presence, clarity, and peace, enriching both our inner lives and our relationships. By reducing our preoccupation with past and future, mindfulness opens us to the beauty and possibility of the present moment. As more people adopt mindful living, the potential for societal transformation grows, leading to communities that prioritize thoughtful engagement, empathy, and authentic connection. Mindfulness is not only a tool for individual well-being, it's a pathway to a more compassionate, attentive, and resilient society. Overcoming obstacles with Buddhist principles. In the Buddhist view, obstacles are not interruptions on the spiritual path, but integral to it. They are opportunities for learning, growth, and the cultivation of virtues like patience, perseverance, and wisdom. Challenges arise from our own karma, habitual patterns, and the ever-changing nature of life. The essential question is not why is this happening to me, but what can I learn from this? Embracing obstacles. Each difficulty, whether internal or external, carries the potential for insight and awakening. The way we meet these challenges with mindfulness, acceptance, and compassion determines our growth and resilience. Turning walls into gateways. By applying Buddhist principles, we reframe obstacles as teachers. With mindful awareness, we can transform setbacks into stepping stones toward greater understanding and fulfillment. Integrating mindfulness and Buddhist principles into daily life is a journey toward deeper connection, resilience, and wisdom. It empowers us to engage more fully with ourselves, others, and the world, enriching our lives and contributing to a more mindful, compassionate society. In embracing these practices, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also participate in a broader movement toward collective awakening and harmony. Overcoming obstacles with Buddhist principles, a practical guide. The nature of obstacles. Obstacles, whether they manifest as lingering karmic patterns, emotional turbulence, mental confusion, or deeply rooted ignorance, are not random accidents, nor signs of failure. From the Buddhist perspective, these challenges are mirrors, reflecting back where we are stuck and illuminating the very places we are called to grow. They may appear externally as societal pressures, physical limitations, or unjust circumstances, or internally as doubt, fear, anger, or distraction. Regardless of their form, all obstacles point us inward, inviting a response, not of resistance, but of awareness and compassion. Practical ways to meet obstacles. Meditation and mindfulness. At the heart of Buddhist practice is mindfulness meditation, a simple but profound method for facing difficulty. Here, we watch our reactions without judgment, noticing attachment, aversion, or confusion as they arise. This awareness alone can soften our grip on habitual patterns, allowing us to respond rather than react. Breath as anchor. When overwhelmed, focus returns to the breath, steadying a turbulent mind. Visualization. Picture burdens dissolving, or imagine compassionate light filling inner darkness. This can ground and uplift. Mantra recitation. Repeating a meaningful phrase or mantra provides a rhythmic anchor amid emotional storms, fostering calm and clarity. The middle way in daily life. The middle way, avoiding extremes of denial or overindulgence, rigidity or chaos, invites us to meet challenges with centered clarity. In practice, this might look like pausing before reacting, creating a sacred pause between stimulus and response. Breathing before speaking, allowing space for reflection, reducing impulsive words or actions. Embracing ambiguity, letting go of the demand for certainty, and instead trusting in process and impermanence. Cultivating equanimity. Equanimity, a balanced mind that meets both joy and sorrow with steady hands, is not indifference, it is maturity of spirit, born from daily reflection and meditative balance. This inner stillness becomes a refuge, offering strength to face life's storms without being broken by them. The hidden gifts of obstacles. When we shift our relationship to obstacles, seeing them not as threats but as teachers, we uncover their hidden gifts, strengthening spiritual virtues. Every challenge tests and refines patience, compassion, humility, and perseverance. We emerge, like steel tempered by fire, stronger and more authentic. Deepening insight. Obstacles make the roots of suffering, the truth of impermanence, and the veil of ignorance undeniable. They move us closer to wisdom, not as theory, but as lived truth. Fostering adaptability and creativity. When old ways no longer serve, obstacles demand flexibility and innovation. These moments often spark the most unexpected spiritual breakthrough. Obstacles in relationships and communities. The most profound tests often arise in connection with others, and here, the deepest healing is possible. Compassionate relationships. Difficulties with loved ones or colleagues invite us to open our hearts wider, listen more deeply, and forgive more freely. They reveal our clinging, our judgments, and our unresolved pain, offering endless chances to choose love over ego. The practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about excusing harm, but about freeing ourselves from resentment's chains. Each misunderstanding or betrayal is an invitation to practice letting go. Collective growth. When communities face adversity together, whether through loss, conflict, or disaster, shared suffering can build unity and mutual support. The community itself becomes a crucible for empathy, cooperation, and collective wisdom. The challenge of consistent practice, applying these teachings, is rarely easy. Spiritual practice is a long, often humbling journey, not a quick fix. Consistency matters. The fruits of mindfulness and meditation ripen only with steady effort. Returning to the breath, to the present, to awareness, even in hard times, waters the seeds of transformation. Long-term commitment. Some obstacles do not dissolve overnight. They call for enduring effort, persistence, and faith. Each moment of return to practice is a step toward freedom. Obstacles, seen through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, are not roadblocks, but signposts, invitations to deeper awareness, compassion. By meeting them with mindfulness, the middle way, and equanimity, we not only navigate life's challenges with greater grace, but also uncover the profound gifts hidden within them. Whether facing personal turmoil or communal hardship, these principles offer a path to resilience, connection, and genuine transformation. Memory. The journey is ongoing, demanding patience, humility, and courage. But with each mindful step, we move closer to a life lived with clarity, compassion, and an open heart, one obstacle, one breath, one moment at a time. Sustaining the path. Practical wisdom from Buddhist teaching, the role of motivation and support. Persistent motivation is essential on the spiritual path. Without it, our attention and intention can easily drift. For this reason, community, routine, and clear intention are invaluable. The Sangha, a supportive community of practitioners, offers encouragement, shared experience, and the gentle accountability that helps sustain commitment to self-awareness and growth. Structured routines, like daily meditation, mindful moments, and consistent reflection, anchor us amidst life's unpredictability, and setting clear intentions keeps our actions aligned with our deeper values. Even when inspiration wanes, facing deep-rooted afflictions, not all challenges are visible. Trauma, conditioning, and even ancestral pain can shape our inner lives in unseen ways. Addressing these requires more than surface solutions. It calls for compassionate self-inquiry, patience, and when needed, professional guidance. Buddhism does not teach us to bypass pain or seek quick escape. Instead, it encourages us to meet our suffering with courage and wisdom, using mindfulness and compassionate awareness to explore the roots of our afflictions, rather than masking or denying them. Navigating cultural and societal pressures, practicing Buddhist principles in environments that don't value or understand them can feel isolating. However, persevering in your practice in such spaces is itself a quiet, powerful act. It becomes a living example of peace and clarity in a world often dominated by haste and distraction. Your practice is not only for your own benefit, it radiates out, subtly challenging and healing the world around you. Obstacles as pathways to awakening. Buddhism does not promise a life free from obstacles. Instead, it teaches us to transform our relationship with difficulty. Obstacles, whether internal or external, personal or collective, are not enemies. They are invitations to deepen awareness, compassion, and wisdom. With mindfulness, equanimity, and the balanced perspective of the middle way, we cultivate a spirit resilient enough to face anything and soft enough to remain present and kind. Each challenge is a lesson, each setback a step forward, each obstacle a sacred threshold. As we learn to walk this path, we inspire others, our growth becomes a source of hope, our peace a living invitation for others to find their own way. Enduring principles for everyday living. As your journey through the heart of Buddhist teachings draws to a close, one thing becomes unmistakably clear. This path is not about doctrine or dogma, but presence, compassion, and awakening. The teachings, mindfulness, impermanence, karma, interconnectedness, are not relics of the past, but living truths that resonate in every age, including our chaotic modern world. Buddhism does not ask us to escape life, but to enter it more fully, with all its joys and sorrows, complexities and uncertainties. It offers a way of being that is deeply grounded, seeking peace amid movement, clarity amid confusion, and stillness amid noise. Practical steps to embody these teachings. Live mindfully. Let each moment be a portal to awareness. Whether sipping tea, walking, or talking, be fully here. In presence, even the ordinary becomes sacred. Act compassionately. Keep your heart open. Offer kindness freely. It softens suffering for others and awakens joy within yourself. Compassion is a gift, not a burden. Embrace change. Let go of the illusion of permanence. In life's constant movement, there is possibility, growth, and ultimately, freedom. Connect deeply. Recognize that your life is a thread in the vast web of existence. Your actions matter. The well-being of one is tied to the well-being of all. Live in a way that uplifts yourself and those around you. If any of these teachings have offered you peace, understanding, or stillness, consider passing them on. Wisdom, like a flame, doesn't diminish when shared. It multiplies. Every act of kindness, every mindful step, every gentle word can light a path for someone else. Final blessing. In closing, may these teachings find a home in your heart. May your life be filled with presence, purpose, and the radiant calm of wisdom well lived. Keep walking, keep awakening, and keep sharing. The path is never smooth, but it is the strength, clarity, and compassion with which we walk it that truly matters. Thank you for walking this path. Keep practicing, not for perfection, but for peace. Grow not alone, but together, and may the light you carry, however quiet, guide your way and touch the lives of all you meet.